Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK.
And I'm Courtney.
And Courtney, how are you?
I'm sleepy. I was just telling Mary Kate before we got on, I was like, I could sleep for a week. I feel like I haven't slept in ages, trying to catch up on everything. I don't even know how words work anymore. So with all my refrigerator issues, I went to Rachel's for her birthday. It was on Saturday, and so we went to Meemaw's, then we went to Rachel's, and my fridge went out in the middle. I'm a tech genius, in case you're wondering. I propped up my Alexa to where it angled at the outlet that lights up red when it kicks off so that I could see, like I could just check in on my camera and see when my refrigerator kicked out. Um, and so then me and Rachel's dad came back to like check out my fridge. And I got back to Meemaw's. I told Rachel, I said, I hope your dad understood any of the words I said because I made up so many words for regular words today that I don't even know what I said, which is my current state of being.
Yeah.
However, our Aldi opens on Thursday,
Nice.
and I've been waiting for that for 6 months. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to buy things like cheese. Um, that's one of my favorite things from Aldi.
Yeah.
And I got some new drinks to try. I got the have you had Poppy? Are you familiar?
No.
It's like it's the prebiotic soda brand that like came out.
Yes.
Like we don't have prebiotics, but you can say it because there's no law against it, basically.
Yeah.
Um, so they had like this 90s style can, and it was like Power Punch or something, and it was basically like sparkling fruit punch. But it had like 4 grams of sugar and like 20 calories or something, and it was not bad. Surprised. I
Okay.
just bought it because I liked the look of the can.
Fair.
To be fair. I also got this Binner Tea Company, which I've never heard of. Cold brew. It's
Okay.
a cold brew green tea, so I guess there's not a lot of caffeine in it, which cold brew usually makes me think the opposite.
Wait, cold brew
Um,
and green tea both have caffeine though.
yeah, but green tea has really low caffeine.
That's what, yeah, compared to black tea, but like not compared to juice.
Well, no, but cold brew isn't juice. Cold
No, no,
brew is just
no,
the
no,
style
no.
of how they brew it.
I under. Oh. Got my brain really thought that that was somehow a combination of a cold brew coffee
Coffee and green
and
tea?
green tea.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Listen, most things that other people drink sound awful.
Yeah.
My Chrissy and Kate have been trying desperately to get me to drink, or Chrissy and Kate and this other girl we work with, Molly, they've been trying desperately to get me to drink this stuff that, oh my God, what's it called? It's Element.
Oh, it's like an energy drink or something, isn't it? It's
Well,
got the ghost
it's
on it.
no, not the Element. Yes, that is an energy drink, but this is Element spelled LMNT, and it is a electrolyte company.
Oh, I
Like,
gotta get on that too.
and they just it's just zero sugar electrolyte packets.
Hmm.
And but they have some that you brew hot, cold, whatever. I think it's fucking disgusting. And it's just for me, it's too salty because usually when I have electrolytes, I have a sweetened one, so the sugar balances out what the salt tastes like. Um, which is just my I don't like to drink the salt. I also don't like Molly is an avid like mountain climber. She can probably chug that shit and need it. I don't do enough to need that level
Right.
of electrolytes. And Chrissy goes, it's the kind of thing where I drink it, and because it's good for me, I convince myself that I like it, but I'm pretty sure you're right. It's not actually that
Mm,
good. It's
sure.
just the best choice of the healthy things. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't give a shit. And I will still eat a bag of gummy worms every day if you let me. So, like, I'm not gonna, if they make a Dr. Pepper flavored electrolyte, I'm in.
I've been drinking they made a diet Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Yeah.
I had no idea. They sell it at our coffee shop over here. I was like, I gotta try that one day. Well, I'm trying to not drink as much sugar because I cannot afford crashing. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
eat more protein. I'm trying to make it from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. every day and not die, which is real tough.
Yeah.
So I did not realize this has 20 grams of sugar in it. I had no idea, but it is like it's got high fructose corn syrup, but it's also got like honey. So like all of the sugar isn't bad sugar. It's like honey and stuff
Yeah.
too.
What did I have the other day that all the sugars? Oh, I had an Amish uh beef jerky stick that all the sugars in it were natural.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes
Because it was from the Amish.
sense. Mhm.
Like they still use
Oh,
preservatives to like keep the beef stick, but like
right.
it was like straight cane sugar and honey for the sweeteners. I was
That's
like,
amazing.
valid.
Yeah. Well, this. I mean, it has high fructose corn syrup, so it's not like all good,
Yeah.
but it tastes very good. And I probably won't get a lot of them now that I realize how much sugar's in it, but it is quite tasty. So I'm living my best Aldi life, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for our sign's been up for like 2 months, and I've just been dying. So that's all I care about this week. How are
Perfect.
you?
I'm okay. Speaking of my Amish beef jerky, Thursday was Juneteenth, and so I didn't have
Hmm.
work. And Dan was having a bro night. He was having the guys over, and
Oh yeah, how's Doug?
I'll, I'll talk about that in a second. Um, but so my mom texted me in the morning, and she was like, "What's your plan for today?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she was like, "Well, I thought the guys were coming over, so you were trying to escape the house." I was like, "Yes." She goes, "Do you want to go to the farmers markets with me?" And I go, "Well, I wasn't planning on escaping the house till evening." She goes, "Yeah, but the farmers markets close at 5." And I go, "Okay, fine. Let me take a shower." So my mom and I went farm hopping.
Love that. I
Um,
love that.
we bought the most delicious fresh baked cinnamon bread that was still warm when we got it. And I got
Mm,
fresh corn on the cob and fresh farm potatoes, and I got fresh lemons, and obviously I got the beef stick. And but then the crazy, and I went to the dairy and got milk like in the glass bottle at the dairy. And
ooh,
like I did all the stuff. So like I went to four farms, no, four farms. We went to four farms, and between my mom and I, like both of us together, only spent $100. Like
that's not
no,
bad at all.
yeah, it's not. We spent like $100 between the both of us on four farms, and we like both got like fresh produce, and we got bread, and we got milk, and we got like seasonings and like oils and everything. And I just want to become the kind of person that only shops at farms and doesn't go to grocery stores.
God, me too. I mean, I love Aldi, but like
Like, no, I mean,
I
obviously, I'm gonna go to
so much more.
the grocery store and get my Dr. Pepper and my potato chips because I can't get those at a
Right.
farm. Like, I got that. My farm doesn't grow Oreos.
Sure. Yeah, what a shame. I wish it would.
Right? But like,
Yeah.
but it was so much cheaper. Like
Hmm.
the dairy, my mom and I got 2 quarts of milk and then three little pint like mini bottles and a cookie, which the cookie was the most expensive thing.
Sure.
$10.
Amazing. Yeah. See, we have a farmer's market that's at our library over in Destrehan, and it's every other weekend. And I keep wanting to go to it. I have not been to it yet, but that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
I just But it was funny because Dan went to make breakfast on Thursday and he went to make potatoes, but the potatoes were bad. So when we went to the farm, I just bought a bag of potatoes and I brought it home and I was like, "Babe, I got you potatoes." He goes, "You're so rude." Well, I was like, "Remember you didn't have potatoes this morning, and yesterday when we were cooking dinner, you didn't have lemons, so I got potatoes and lemons." And he was like, "I hate you."
I love that. I love that so much.
But
Ugh.
yeah. But then I did get home before the boys left, and so I played Trivia Murder Party with them. Um, and Jake and I killed everyone. Um,
Is that the one on Jackbox or whatever?
yeah.
Okay.
And then I talked to Doug, and he told me that he has in fact been listening to the podcast, watching the podcast on YouTube. Um,
Ugh, I love that.
Hold on,
He does.
you're not going to love it, but he's been watching the podcast because he just like feel this one made me I was gonna punch him. He said that he like feels like he just really needs something comforting right now, and I was like, oh, maybe because you've been not talking to any of your friends,
But
whatever.
like, we're
But
comfortable.
the reason I have no problem saying this shit right here on podcast is because he straight up told me he skips to when we start talking about the show and he doesn't listen to us talk about our lives. He only listens to the stuff about Stargate.
Our lives should be comforting, Doug.
I was like, how do you else do you know what's going on in Dan's life unless you listen to the podcast because you surely don't fucking talk to him. Ugh,
I'm offended.
I'm offended. I was offended. So I was like, I'm gonna put you on blast on the podcast and you won't even know
Do
because you won't
it.
listen to that
Mhm.
part.
Mhm.
So I hope you listened,
Rude.
Douglas.
I hope so too.
Now that I'm like unreasonably riled up,
Yeah, yeah.
can you give me some words of encouragement?
I probably can. I do have things saved. Let me go see if they're encouraging. Oh my gosh, my whole phone updated without my permission. And
Hmm.
I don't know how anything works anymore. Literally everything looks different. Where's my favorites folder? Jesus Christ. There. Okay, I found it. Literally everything. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh, okay. I'm ready.
Yeah.
The world breaks everyone, and afterward, some are strong at the broken places. Ernest Hemingway.
Not that. Ah, Hemingway was one of the categories on the connections today. And Dan
Oh, I
actually
haven't played Connections today.
knew it. And he was like, aren't you impressed? Aren't you proud of me?
I love it. Like the New York Times Connections.
Yeah.
I haven't done that today yet.
Well, just so you know, Hemingway's one of the categories.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. So today we are talking about Stargate SG-1, Season 8, Episode 3, Lockdown. It was rated 7.5 stars. And it came out on Friday, July 23rd, 2004. Today is July 23rd. It's not, it's June 23rd today. I don't know how to read a calendar.
What did you say?
I
July?
said today is July 23rd, and then I was like, no, it's
Oh.
not. It's absolutely not. In
It's
fact,
okay. I heard you because
yeah,
you
because I
said it
said
like it was
today.
today.
Well, no, because this is what happened. I knew that it was July 23rd. Um, and this episode comes out in August, so it doesn't matter then. But I knew that it was July 23rd when I wrote it down. But then because the episode of Clarice that we recorded today came out on
Which
June
June 24th.
24th and today's June 23rd, I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. Sorry, it's the same week. It's not.
I was literally just about to say that before you corrected yourself.
Yeah,
So
but that's fine. We're cool.
it's okay.
The number one song, because apparently 2004 is the year of Usher, is
Ugh, every year should be the year of Usher.
was Confessions Part 2. And it will take everything in me not to start singing it on the podcast and need to pay royalties, but that's fine.
We don't have any money.
We have no money. The number one book, weirdly, we're back to the Da Vinci Code.
I told you that book so good. Forever. I stand it.
And the number one movie is a movie I have not seen, but I'm sure my mother-in-law will force me to see before the summer is over. The Bourne Supremacy.
Yes. Yes. I hope so. I hope we love it.
Um,
I
she
forgot
actually
we didn't
last
watch the third one
actually
yet.
last time I saw her, she was like, "Are you sure you're gonna be okay with watching the second one? Like, we don't. I know you didn't love the first one."
Oh yeah, Ultimatum's the third one.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, it's okay. I'll watch it. It's fine." On this day, two things that I want to talk about, and one just made me really confused on how America works, and like just in
Same.
general about like in general about how countries in general deal with like political messaging.
Mm,
Not
not
necessarily
well.
right, but not necessarily about like actually like debating things between nations, but when apparently, and I know this is true, I've known it before, in order to just like declare something, you have to have like a resolution in Congress to do that, which doesn't make sense to me, based purely on what I'm about to say. On this day, July 23rd, 2004, the US declared the Sudanese conflict in Darfur to be genocide. Now, I'm going to be honest. The Sudanese conflict in Darfur was genocide. There were 200,000 boys from
Right.
indigenous like groups disappeared. It's kind of a problem. Darfur is no longer part of Sudan because of it.
Surprise. Right.
Um, why did we need to go to a vote to be allowed to say that? Like that's it. I'm sure everybody in the Senate was like, no, this is definitely genocide. but the US had to vote to be allowed to say that it was genocide.
It's
And
because the Constitution.
which,
Because the do you
no,
do
I
you
was gonna
really
say,
want me to tell you all of the breakdown?
well,
Do you
well, no, but I
understand?
mean, like, obviously, I know you need, like,
Okay.
I know you need a Senate resolution to be able to go to war.
Hmm.
And because the president can't just unilaterally decide war.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm cool with that. One person being having that much power is clearly problematic. It's like the declaring things just existing that I don't
Mhm.
understand.
Yeah, it's just an enumerated power. That's all it is. So like there's the three branches. You have the judicial, executive, and
Yeah.
the legislative. Literally, that's what I've been working on this week is the judicial powers, legislative powers, and executive. Cannot say those words.
That's
Um,
cool.
but basically they're all given their same powers and in order to balance, and that's just one of the powers under the legislative. And so you have to follow it or else they're not following the Constitution. If the executive power does it, they're overreaching, they get dinged. Judicial power, they get dinged. Like it just is what it is because it was said that way. That's all.
Which is silly.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of a slippery slope type thing. They don't want
Which
to be
no,
able to just
which I
declare
get.
anything. So if it's like an international type conflict or if it's any type of war related or anything like that,
Yeah.
that's more. And it's more about like they can state it, but the declaration is more of like we
Like
declare like this is our official stance on this
yeah.
more than just us saying it. Because then like
Which
say
I
we
know it's
declare it and then like I don't know, Egypt attacks us, that's their
right.
basis for war or whatever. So like it's because of the repercussions, it's because of the different
Right. And like I said to Dan, I go, I know it's all political posturing. I'm sure it is all international PR. Like I get that. I just find it so ridiculous just for something like that to be like,
yeah.
hey, you know that thing that's clearly genocide?
Mhm.
We're not sure
Well,
if
and
we're
also it's because you have to look at like our like allied powers and whatnot. I don't know which one's the allies, which one's the Axis. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But it's like we have all of these like partners and all these allies, and if we say
right.
something that doesn't align with one of them, then that's another thing. So if we declare it, we have to make sure that we are on par with everything that we've done.
Right.
Um,
Here's the thing. Again, I understand in terms of
yeah.
politics why that's the thing.
Hmm.
But like genocide's kind of like I don't understand why that's a negotiable.
Yeah. I mean, look at German Nazis. Like World War II, not everybody came out and said that they were Nazis. Not everybody came out and talked
Yeah.
about concentration camps. It's the same.
I
It's the
mean,
same idea, but like in a
and
more
to a
modern
lot of
way.
people's credit, the Germans went about it in such a systematic and gradual way that
Yeah.
people didn't like realize at first what was
Well, you
happening.
have to also look at like we had stake in it because all of the Nazis basically ran our entertainment industry except Warner Brother. And we had our own concentration camp. So like we could come out and make these same
Yeah, no,
like statements,
we yeah, we obviously with our Japanese internment camps couldn't really like come out against Germany too hard.
Yeah.
Except for that we didn't kill anyone in ours. We just didn't do well for them. Like
Yeah.
it's
But like
very,
and it's
I
also
mean, very minor distinction, but
right. It's like
no,
it has political like PR under it, but it also has to do with like economic because they didn't want to lose the movie industry. I mean, that was a huge thing. And that's not a good reason to go along with people who
right.
are
No, here's the
killing
thing.
people, but that
Here's the
is
thing.
what they did.
I'm just saying, fuck everybody. Genocide is bad.
Oh, for sure. Yes, we can take that stance and say genocide is bad, and we agree. Um, but legally, they're not allowed to.
But
Be
also,
nonpartisan until otherwise.
genocide that specifically targets children,
Yeah.
fuck you. All the way up. Like, no. Anyway, sorry. The other thing, also weirdly about children dying, um,
Excellent. Good.
um,
Good news.
well, on this date, an arrest was made in the Cecilia Jean murder case. I don't know if you know anything about that case.
That vaguely sounds familiar.
So she was a 9-year old, I think. She was in fourth grade. So I think 10-year-old girl in Toronto. And she was um Chinese born Canadian. Her parents moved there. to Toronto. She was in school. She was kidnapped by another person from China who came into Toronto and like abducted her. And it was supposed to be like some weird political like Chinese ransom situation. And then she accidentally died. And then he like freaked out and like it's
I
crazy.
don't know this story. But a lot of the podcasts I listen to don't really cover kids' stories that much, too.
That's fair. I wonder if any of the podcasts I listen to do. I don't know how to search that.
Can you spell it? Is it with an X?
No, it's ZH.
CH.
Let's see if I just look up Cecilia Shaw episodes. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch. Let's see. The detective podcast has an episode about it. Um,
That's
Dark
what's popping up for me.
Dark Poutine has an episode about it.
Oh, I always forget about them. I followed them for a while and then stopped their
Yeah,
anymore.
Coffee Time and Crime has an
I've
episode
heard of
about
them.
them. About her. The Grimm Files has one.
Hmm.
Um,
I was following them, but I unfollowed them because they
yeah,
annoyed me.
yeah. So those are the four that seem to actually be about this case. But
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha.
just a 9-year-old girl who got
Interesting.
abducted and then accidentally murdered,
God,
theoretically.
that sucks.
And then he freaked out because he killed her and tried to cover it up. And so he was arrested
Sure.
on this day, which was 9 entire months after she disappeared. Which
What a time.
for Canada, who likes to pretend that they don't have crime like the US, a 9-month abduction of a child is with no arrest is kind of
Well, I
like,
mean, I just talked about the burying of 761 kids.
well,
You know?
that would be admitting that Indigenous people are people, and I don't
All right.
know if our governments, plural, both of them, are
Facts.
ready to do that.
Yeah. Did you did you hear they've been talking about the ones in Ireland too recently again, which I thought had already come
I
out.
thought they already, yeah.
Because
No,
I
but
had a friend who was from Ireland, and her friend wrote a book about them and interviewed a lot of the people who
mm,
were involved. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this was like news like 10 years ago. But
what was the podcast that I listened to that I was like, I forgot what it was. There was a podcast from that I was listening to that was all only about the indigenous
mm,
peoples.
um yeah, I think I started that one too, and I didn't like the narrator. But I
It
don't
was
remember. I'm
it was
very picky about narrators.
yeah, apparently. It was I really liked it. It was a CBC
Was it one of the
podcast.
like yeah, it was one of the like unsolved or something, but it wasn't unsolved, but it sounded similar.
Maybe. Here I'm gonna Google it.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot about like the Canadian murders of Indigenous people, obviously. Um, there's quite a few stories out there.
Oh, it was called Missing and Murdered.
Oh yeah, I did follow it. I followed that one.
Yeah,
Um,
Missing and Murdered, Finding Cleo. That it
mhm.
made me really
Oh
sad.
no, I did. I listened to that whole. I
Yeah,
listened to
that
that
one
first
it's that one
season,
it's a there I think the story is done. I don't think there's because it was a single story podcast, not like a forever podcast.
but I think they did other stories after that one. Didn't they do like two or three other seasons?
Yes, but I think I listened to everything. I think I
Oh,
listened
I only listened to the Cleo one.
yeah, no, I think I listened to the Missing and
I
Murdered.
didn't mind that one. I just didn't listen to the other single stories. That's all.
Oh, Alberta Williams was the other season. No, Cleo was the first season, Alberta was the
Mhm.
second, or Cleo was the second season, Alberta was
Oh,
first.
I listened to Alberta too. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
I have to listen to more than that because I have to
Yeah.
listen to both of
No,
those.
it ended in 2018 and that's it. So,
Oh, okay. Well, then
yeah,
that's why
so
I haven't
I
listened
think
to
we did
more.
both listen to the whole thing. That's why.
Well, that
Um,
was a great podcast. You should listen. I highly
yes.
recommend.
Yes. Yeah, so crazy shit. Children dying, not making me happy.
Bad News Bears.
This episode where no children die, was
Thank
written
goodness. Whew.
by William Waring, who's not new. We just have not heard his name in quite some time. I'm trying to remember the last time he directed an episode, but I want to say it was like season 5.
I don't even remember his name.
Well,
Not even a little bit.
okay. No, I know for obviously I know for a fact he isn't, but I really don't remember. It's been a while. Um, but it was written by, he's the one who was a camera operator first.
Hmm. I remember
Yes.
that. I remember that story.
Yes. Like I remember information. Um,
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Could have been season 5, could have been season 6. Almost that long ago.
um, I went to click on something and I accidentally only clicked on his camera operator
Hmm.
credits instead of his directing credits. That's
Sure,
not
sure, sure,
helpful.
sure.
Um, no, it's being stupid because I'm trying to use I'm trying to use IMDb on my phone, but not
Oh, I always use
but
IMDb on my phone.
yeah, but
I've
not
never on my
my
laptop.
problem is I had the app and then I had to delete it to get space on my
Oh,
new
yeah, yeah,
phone, like when
yeah.
I was transitioning phones, so then it was just being dumb because it
Sure,
like
sure.
didn't want me to do what I
Mm-hmm.
needed to do. So now that
Fair,
I'm
fair, fair.
done that, I don't want
Right.
notifications from IMDb. About what? Anyway, so while I'm pulling this up, he was William Waring is the director. Then it was written by Joseph Molosi and Paul Mully. It was and edited by Rick Martin. Oh no, he did one last season. He did Chimera last season.
That was really recent.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
I was like, it's been a while. No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't at all.
Oh. I mean, his
Interesting.
first episode when I talked about him and who he was season 5, but he has in fact directed since then.
Hmm.
So our
Interesting.
guest that we're talking about is Gavin Hood, who plays Colonel Alexei Vasilov. Um, he is, I don't know if you clocked his accent as quickly as Dan did, but in his first scene, Dan goes, "That guy's not really Russian, is he?" It's like, no, he's not.
I
He's
didn't
South
clock it that
he's South
fast.
African, so very different accents.
Yeah, I mean, I picked up that it sounded a little strange, but I was like, I don't know, that's just me.
Yeah.
I just,
Um, but so he was born in Johannesburg, South Africa. He did most of his school there. He went to law school in South Africa and then moved to the US and went to the University of California to go for film directing.
hmm, good for him.
Yeah, quit being a lawyer.
That's the dream.
Um, he's known more for his directing than for his acting. He directed a movie called Sotsy, which actually won an Academy Award for the Best International Film.
Can you
Um,
spell it?
Tsotsi.
Okay.
And he also directed a movie called Official Secrets. And then for acting, his number one credit is called Eye in the Sky. Um, he has a pretty low profile online, can't really find a lot about him. And also, despite everything about him and this like Academy Award and him being this big director, he doesn't have any credits in either directing or acting since 2015. So I don't really know what he's been up to. But
Just living his life.
he goes back and forth a lot. He lives in the US, the UK, and South Africa. He
Hmm.
bounces back and forth between the three. So yeah.
Interesting. Well, good for
Um
him.
yeah. We start and then also Dan was really sad. He was like, "Oh, I really liked that character."
Yeah,
Um,
me
we
too.
we start with a Russian team on the International Space Station who are trying to avoid debris from the explosion in Antarctica. Um, and they successfully change their orbit, but then the SGC loses contact with them. Um, then we get our credits. Um, we don't find out that post credits is a month later until significantly later in the episode.
Mhm.
But basically that teaser part happens between the end of season 7 and the beginning of season 8. Like Jack is stuck in Antarctica when this is happening. This is because now
Oh, okay.
the teaser is a full month before the events of the actual episode.
Gotcha.
Which they mention later about a month ago an astronaut fell, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But they don't make it clear that there's a time jump there and that teaser is technically a flashback. It's not in terms of this story, but it does happen before the last episode.
Mm, okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so post credits, we're now a month later. Jack is failing at keeping up with paperwork and running the SGC.
Surprise.
Surprise. Um, Colonel Vasilov arrives and he has just transferred to the SGC he's one of the new Russian colonels. Which is funny because you were just talking about, didn't we used to have a Russian team in SG-1? We
I
sure
told you,
did.
I've just predicted this whole
We
season.
sure did. It's okay. My number one plot hole in the DNA awards was fully answered by this episode. So,
Mhm.
which I forgot, obviously, or it wouldn't have been my
That's
number one plot
okay.
hole.
It's all right.
Um, so he comes to the SGC. He's very, very highly decorated. In fact, we find out he's probably the most decorated Russian Air Force. I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm
Oh
so
no,
sorry.
you're really killing me.
I'm so sorry. I've had like nothing but caffeine to drink today. I don't know why I'm yawning. Um, so he wants to take over the SG-1. He's like, I'm so highly decorated. I have all this experience. I have X, Y, and Z in my pocket. Like, I really, really want to do this. I would like. And Jack is like, fat chance. Like, never
Yeah.
gonna happen. And he's like, I don't even think I'm gonna put you on 18.
I'm like, we are supposed to be for the Russians right now.
Right. And Colonel Vasilov is like, what the fuck did I do to this man?
He's like, can I just like tag along?
He's like, can I? He's like, if you want me to train, like, then let me train. I'll train and then go. And he goes, yeah, we'll see. You can leave.
Oh, Jack, bless
Oh,
your
Jack.
heart.
Um, so then we cut over to our actual SG-1 now, and they're chatting. Teal'c is telling them that he's getting his first apartment off base.
It's so
Um,
cute. He's growing up.
he's growing up. He's so excited. He's gonna live in an apartment. Now that aliens aren't a secret, he's allowed to leave the base.
Yeah. What a fun
Yay!
time.
And then Daniel and Sam ask him about a homecoming party, like a housewarming party, which then Dan got very upset because he was like, "We still haven't done
I never had a housewarming party. Nobody came to my house.
We have people over all the time. We just haven't technically had a housewarming party.
I never live right people over.
No, you just go to their houses instead. That's a you problem.
I just go to rituals.
Um, and then Jack crashes the party and Sam gets real formal real quickly, and he just goes, "I'm gonna say this once, forever, at ease. We're not doing this." Like, I get it, but no. And so they're like, yeah, so like, how's the job coming? And he just goes on this diatribe about the bullshit that you have to deal with when you're in charge of something. And he's like, they ordered the wrong potatoes for the cafeteria. Like, did you know that you can't make good mashed potatoes with Yukon? Like, and they were like, hey, Jack, I heard that like Colonel Vasilov came to see you. And he goes, oh yeah, that happened too.
Oh yeah, the military thing happened.
Oh
The
yeah.
cafeteria thing.
Which, to be fair, if I went from like leading just a team of like alien exploration and now I had to deal with the like the receipts for mashed potatoes, I'd be pissed too. Like
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
um and so they ask about Colonel Vasilov and Jack's like, I'm just gonna keep SG-1 like as is. Like you guys don't need another person. Three man team. Like let's do it. And Sam's like, well, technically you're not like there's nothing in the protocol that says a team has to have four people on it. Like
I mean, balance of the world, Sam.
I mean, I think between Sam and Daniel and Teal'c, you have a pretty balanced world. The only thing they're missing
I
is
know.
snark.
And that's pretty important. I don't know if you know. That's the most
Yeah.
important part of a team.
Daniel has gotten much more snarky since he has been on
He sure
Ascended.
has. He sure has. That whole being an ancient thing
It made him
really messed
snarky.
him up. Mm,
And now that Teal'c's not like secret and is allowed to be in the real world, maybe he'll be snarky too.
he has
Yeah,
his
because
moments.
real people make me snarky.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. For sure.
And he says that he doesn't want to risk anybody's life without training, like he's in charge of all these people. And Sam's like, that is uncharacteristically cautious of you. Like, I appreciate it, but what is happening? And Daniel goes, the Russian government's putting pressure on you to put one of their people in charge of something. He goes, yeah, fuck them. Oh,
We're
damn.
all allies. We're all allies,
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah. Um, Colonel Vaslov is getting dressed in his room and putting the fatigues that are not called fatigues on. I
Mhm.
always forget what they're called for the Air Force, and also the fact that the Army doesn't even use the word fatigues anymore, but that's fine. So I'm going to continue to call them that. He's getting
Sure.
dressed, but he has had some major nasty disease on his arm, is what I wrote. Um,
Fair.
so Daniel comes to talk to him and he's trying to help welcome him and calm him down about Jack. Like, be like, listen, Jack's like that with everyone, and he's an equal opportunity hater.
Yeah.
Like it's not you, it's not Russia, it's just anyone, everyone.
I like to believe that's how I am as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a lot of prejudice. I just have a lot of anger.
Today we were talking about the fact that all of the kids are afraid of Chrissy. They think she has like the word, like she has such a resting bitch face that they all think she's so mean. And Chrissy's like, I don't understand it though. Can I? And I was like, and they just like talk to me about things I don't want to know. They think I'm their best friend. And Chrissy goes, and the crazy thing is, like, you're more approachable than I am. I get it. But she's like, but you're straight up mean to them. And I was like, yeah, and they love it, and I don't get it. It's like
Kids are stupid.
kids are stupid. I bully them and I'm their favorite teacher, and
Mhm.
she does nothing but try to be nice and they hate her. Dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I, like Jack, equally hate everyone. Um, but as he's trying to calm him down, Vasilov faints. So Daniel takes him to the infirmary, but he has to leave to go off world. So Dr. Reitman, who's our new medical doctor on base, I know.
She's not Janet.
She takes over. And then we get this weird, blurry hallway vision scene, like POV camera, which does not make sense at this moment. It will
Yeah.
make sense later, but in this moment, you're like, wait, what the fuck was that? Um, then Jack goes to see the doctor, and she tells him that Vasilov has no knowledge of being not only in the SJC but in the US. The last time he remembers anything, he was still in Russia. Um, and he has like a wicked infection, and lesions on 40% of his body, and he may or may not be contagious.
Whoops. That's not
Um,
good.
so they need to test everyone who has had any contact with him. So Jack goes to get Daniel, who is with SG-11, trying to go through the gate. And Jack stops them from departing and tells Daniel he has to go to the infirmary. But Daniel goes rogue, takes a hostage, starts demanding that the gate be opened, and then shooting people. Which I know Daniel's gotten snarky recently, but he's not gotten murdery, so this is
Right.
concerning.
Yeah, this is very anti-Daniel.
Um, so Teal'c zats Daniel, but he immediately gets back up, which is also concerning. Um,
Yeah.
so Jack actually shoots him.
Look, when you're in charge, you gotta make the hard decisions.
Right.
Sometimes that means you have to shoot your friend.
In the infirmary, we find out that Daniel did survive the gunshot, but he likely has whatever Vasilov had, and that it is a contagion. Daniel has an infection, something's wrong. So Jack puts the SGC under lockdown until they can figure out how far this has spread and what exactly it is. Um,
Mhm.
Daniel seems to be taking well to the treatment, but Vasilov not so much. So we find out that Daniel is his infection is going away, but um not so hot for the Russian. But then Teal'c is visiting Vasilov in the infirmary, and Vasilov's trying really hard to deal with like the emotional trauma of feeling like he's the reason everyone's dying.
Plus, he is like I love him. He's
Yeah.
got all of this like guilt and he just seems so kind.
Yeah. And Vasilov's like, I still don't remember anything, but I'm starting to have dreams about being in the SGC and like seeing things, but I feel like an observer in my own body. Like I'm not making choices, I'm just watching myself do things.
That's how
Which,
you know he's South African and not Russian. Russians are mean. I have Russian friends and they're mean. So
um, I also have Russian friends who are not very warm.
I love them and they will be there for you if you need them. But they
The one
aren't
that
mean.
the one that popped into my head, I don't think she would even do that. I think she's just mean.
I used to work with two girls who were Russian at the bar, and
Mm,
they were two of my favorite people.
yeah. My South African friends though, I love them all so much.
I don't know a ton of people from South Africa, but the ones that I do know all seem very warm. Like I met a guy last year at one of the festivals, and the nicest guy at the whole festival. Like
Yeah.
they
I
just
know.
seem warm and friendly.
Obviously I know Duval and his brother.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's super nice.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, but I have like I think I worked with like eight South Africans in Thailand. Um, but the we find out that the way that Vasilov got this disease was probably from the astronaut that we saw in the teaser. He died after returning to Earth, but they didn't think he was contagious because no one else in the hospital got sick. The only person who got sick was Vasilov. So, like, they were like, how do you have like a selectively contagious disease? Um,
Wow.
well, they did write this before COVID.
Oh, bless, bless.
Um, but since the infection, quote unquote, seems to be chasing or choosing who it infects, they think it might actually be, and the way that Teal'c said Vasilov described how he was feeling, they think that it's actually probably um an alien.
Those position.
Ooh, love that. Daniel wakes up and he also has no memory. The last thing he remembers is Vasilov fainting in his room. So they tell him everything that happens, including the fact that he shot people. um, he seems very offended that Jack shot him, and
He
he
does,
just
but again,
well, then he just keeps going, "Who shot me?" And
everybody's like, oh.
I'm like paused to write notes, and I go, "How?" Who? I looked at Dan and I go, "What do you think he's going to be more upset about? The fact that Jack shot him, or he shot multiple other people?" um, yeah, I think he was a little bit more understanding when Jack was like, "You wounded two people."
You literally were shooting everyone. We had to
Everyone.
stop you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and so as they're telling him what's happening, he's trying to like remember anything he can, and he has like a vision of being in the room, and he goes, "Oh my God, it was Anubis. I was Anubis. Like Anubis was controlling me, and he's not dead, and he's on his
Here's what I'd
face."
like to say. When we were watching Hannah, you got up in arms all the time when people didn't actually die. And then you have this show.
Here's the thing. Sci-fi isn't the same. In sci-fi, everyone dies and it doesn't mean anything. Like that's kind of the shtick with
But
sci-fi.
kind of with horror too. There's a very thin line there.
The problem is that Hannibal verges on high drama. Like it's horror, but it's verging on high drama, and they attempted to do artistic storytelling and then only let death be semi-permanent when it was convenient for the story, which always felt like a cop out. In this show, it's no longer a cop out because it's just a shtick. Literally, no one has stayed dead. Like, it's kind of a joke at this point.
Well, what's his face is dead for real now. Ra is dead.
Rob was dead before the show started. He was dead in
Right.
the
What's
movie.
the when we
Apophis.
started with Apophis is dead.
Apophis is dead now. Janet is dead. Martouf is dead. That entire
They only
race,
kill the people I love.
that entire race of people with Sam's other boyfriend is dead. Like, the Toker Queen
Bless.
is dead. Like they do kill people, but they also, I mean, like it's to the point where Nixie and Grace on the No Place Like Tara podcast, literally in their episodes, like one of the things that they have in their running things of their episode is a death count for every character. Because like by the end of season two, every single one of the four characters has died at least three times. Like, so
And Daniel like 30.
yeah. There's literally like a Reddit page or like a BuzzFeed or Screen Rant article or something that were like Daniel's 10 most like 10 saddest deaths.
Ah,
So
Daniel.
that's why like even in like Hemlock Grove it pissed me off when they fake killed people because I don't like it when I don't shows that take themselves seriously. I don't like fake death because I think that it's
Mhm.
a cop out in a writing. A show that the entire show is making fun of itself doesn't bother me. It's the same way like where I'm not nearly as upset in
Like Dead
like
Like Me.
right. Like but like I would be way more cool with like useless character deaths that aren't real in Scary Movie than I would be in Scream. Like it's that kind of
Sure.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's that like when the whole joke is on yourself,
Hmm.
it's okay. But to be
That's fair.
fair,
That's fair. I
to
feel
be
that way.
fair, I think the end of this episode is a much more permanent death.
So, not that I don't want Anubis to die, obviously, but
Um so Anubis is an immortal or an immaterial being. We find out that the body that we've seen of Anubis this whole time was really just like a costume, basically, which we kind of knew because we saw what was under his face mask, like the one
yeah,
time. And so basically his whole body is just a costume. He doesn't even really exist as a physical being. So when we killed everyone, he didn't die because you can't kill something that
yeah,
isn't alive.
right,
Um, and can only he can only use a human body or create a new exoskeleton because in answer to my giant plot hole question from the DNA awards, if he were to actually use any of his ancient powers, they would find him and kill him. Which I guess is the difference between him and Daniel, because Daniel can't really hide when he's trying to use his ancient knowledge,
right,
and Anubis is definitely like using a robot to pretend he doesn't exist anymore.
right,
Um, so to answer my own question, that's
right,
um so um he does need a body. So somewhere on the space he's inhabiting something. Um, but they figure out that the reason Vasilov is so much sicker than Daniel is Daniel was only exposed to Anubis's spirit in his body for like an hour, whereas
yeah.
Vasilov was for at least a week.
Hmm.
So his immune system is totally wrecked. He is not going to be able to survive. So he will die.
But he
Um,
knows that too and accepts it with the
well,
moment.
he does. We don't find out that he knows that yet.
Yeah.
Um, they're attempting to find Anubis via making every single person on the entire base go for a physical to see if they have high white blood cells.
Yeah.
Um, and then Anubis, as Dr. Brightman, so apparently Anubis is the one giving the physicals to everyone because that's going to be a good way to find out who's infected. Goes to see Jack and tell Jack that Vasilov is dying. Um, Daniel gets discharged, And he is talking to Vasilov. And this one we found out that Vasilov knows he's dying. He was like, listen, nobody will say anything, and nurses only get quiet when they don't have anything good to say.
Yeah.
He's like, so I know, and he's like, and I feel like shit. Like, this is not
Right.
going well for me. He's like, so just promise me one thing. When the base is out of lockdown, can you send this letter to my sister? And so Daniel, they have a sweet moment and they talk about Russian phrases and the the kind of cold idea of Russia versus the romantic idea of Russia, which I like really love because like you think about it and it's like the when people think of Russia and they think of like the Siberia and ice
Hmm.
and Putin and like the nasty like parts of Russia, like
Yeah.
it is like rough and cold and nobody has anything good to say and everyone is mean all the time. But then like you think about like Anastasia and the Tsar era and St. Basil's Cathedral and like the art and beauty of like old school Russia. And it's like they're very juxtaposing ideas. And so
Right.
basically like the quote that Vasilov says is basically like everybody's gonna die, so it is what it is.
Hmm.
Um, but then like Daniel's quote is basically something like hope is the one thing that never dies. Or
Yeah.
yeah. So but then as he's walking away, I wrote Dr. Jackson. As he's walking away, apparently Dr. Jackson has a memory of,
Mhm.
of Anubis leaving him and going into Lieutenant Evans' body. Um, so Sam interviews her and starts asking her questions, and she does have the telltale memory loss. Um, and however, Teal'c interrupts their interview to say that there's a missing airman. So Anubis was in Lieutenant Evans, probably not anymore. This guy has now gone missing and missed his appointment for his physical, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So the whole base goes on a manhunt. The airman is attacking his way to the control room, but Jack zats him. I was gonna
Zach
say
Jackson.
I was gonna say Zach jats him. I was like, that's
That I
um
would question. I don't always question when you mess up words because I'm like, I probably just misunderstood. That one I would have questioned.
yeah. I don't know who Zach is, but
Right.
Anubis leaves the airman's body and just floats away. Um, Daniel goes to see Jack and says that they should just trap Anubis to the point where they let the ancients deal with him. And Jack's like, because the ancients have been so helpful in the past.
Right. Right.
But Daniel has proposed a plan to break the base into three basically separate locations with no connection to each other, and have the gate itself in one of these sections and the controls for the gate in a different section so that no single person can get to any one thing. So Anubis has literally no body to get him through the gate.
Yeah.
And this will force Anubis to use his power. The base is in lockdown. We find out that it has been in lockdown for 6 days and nothing has happened and there's no sign of
Which felt
anyone.
like a long time.
Yeah.
Did that's I feel like we have more happening. We should have more happening if it was 6 days. It
Yeah, but
was
they tried to like lock
a bit
Anubis.
circular.
They tried to like force Anubis out and he just sat on his ass for 6 days. Listen, he's an immaterial immortal. He can fucking play the long
Right.
game.
I mean, sure, but there's
Um,
gotta be a better way.
yeah. The president calls and tells Jack that he needs to get the gate back up and running because in 6 days there's been nothing. So it is not economically or politically advantageous to
Mhm.
continue to pause the program, which
Right.
we all know how I feel based on the beginning of this episode about making decisions based on what is politically and economically advantageous.
Mhm.
So Jack decides to fuck that and make an announcement to the whole base about a permanent lockdown, basically to smoke Anubis out. Like he's like, sorry. We're gonna be stuck like this for the foreseeable future. It is what
We
it
live here
is.
now.
We live here now. I'm so sorry. Your families are gonna miss you. Um, and which does work, Anubis freaks out. But Anubis enters Sam, who, of course, because she has the most access to everything on the base, um, she says she needs to run a diagnostic test to get into one of the computer rooms, but actually just like resets all of the computers and like changes everything and hacks the gates and like the seals between the sets of rooms, and then just starts like zatting her way between every room and all the electrical systems so she can hack the whole base. Um, including knocking out Daniel. I'll come back to that. And he warns Teal'c. So they send people out to find her. The Jack zats Sam, and Anubis floats out of her, and then the camera cuts before we know where he goes to. But we're not stupid, so we know he goes to Jack.
Yep.
Um, and Jack tries to use Kearney, one of the majors, to help self-destruct the base, and then zats him. Um, Sam obviously no longer has Anubis inside of her, so she knows what's up. She goes after it. She convinces Teal'c that it is her again and resets the self-destruct. Um, all the while, Vasilov has also realized that shit is going down and he is on the move out of the infirmary. Um, Jack as Anubis, or Anubis as Jack, is off somewhere remote activating the gate so he can get into the gate room. And as he gets into the gate room, Vasilov attacks Jack and tells Anubis to go in his body. Because he's like, you just need a body to get you from here to there. Take me, or I'll kill both of us, and then you'll have no body. So he does. Oh yeah. So Anubis enters his body and walks through the gate because Vasilov already knows he's dying, so he's willing to make that sacrifice. But we find out that Sam had overridden the gate dialing and sent him to a frozen planet. And we end on a scene of Vasilov dead in the ice. Which is why I say Anubis is dead, because Anubis is now either stuck in Vasilov's dead body or stuck on a barren planet with nothing else to put his spirit into, forcing him to use his powers and sending the ancients to find him. It is a
Right.
catch-22. He cannot survive.
Mm-hmm.
Based on all of the logic that they have presented so far, there are no options for him.
Right. Right.
So unless they create their own plot hole, he's gone.
Mhm.
Which I don't necessarily see this as a plot hole or as a fake death, because we knew, not in as
Yeah.
much detail, but we knew that Anubis was a non-corporeal being,
Right.
like, prior to this. So exploding his ship.
And we knew that he had extra powers that like
Right.
some
So
of the
like
agents
just
didn't necessarily have or
yeah, so
whatever.
like just exploding his ship really shouldn't be able to kill him, because that didn't kill Apophis or Sokar, and Anubis has more power than they did.
Right.
So I didn't completely hate it, and it does kind of put that final wrap up on that story.
Yeah.
I do have some trivia. Um, this was actually the first episode that they shot post hiatus. They
Oh,
did this before they did the two-parter. Um, like I said, they came into it like season 8 with like the first 6 episodes written, I think. So,
yeah.
um, the actor who plays Major Kearney is not new to the show. Did you recognize him?
Which was Major Carey?
The one who had to do the key with Jack.
Yes, I recognized his face and I didn't know why.
That is the young George Hammond from the 1969 episode.
Oh,
Yeah. Um,
I did. I saw him and I was like, I know him. He's not in this show. I don't understand.
yeah. Teal getting his own first apartment is important.
Okay.
Well, because Teal mentioning that he's getting his first apartment is important, because also he said he was going to be getting his first apartment if everything goes well on Tuesday. However, then they went into lockdown on the base for 7 days.
Oh, so we didn't have a Tuesday.
So he didn't get to leave the base on Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
um, it will affect a future story.
Okay, okay.
Teal'c's apartment situation will affect a future story. So, fun facts.
Interesting.
Fun facts, sometimes they actually like have things connected.
I do
Um,
love that. I
but
love that for
speaking of
us.
things that are not connected, aka don't make sense at all. Um, what is a Zatnick? What is a Zat gun? This goddamn weapon does not make sense. 2 shots from a Zat will kill you.
Right. No, I thought one shot.
Nope. 1 shot knocks you out. 2 shots kills you. 3 shots evaporates your
That's
razor
right. That's
body.
right. Okay.
Yes. We've already hypothesized that there must be some amount of time between
Between shots. Yeah.
between shots that will reset the electrical content in your body, I guess, because otherwise every single character on the show would be very dead.
Sure.
This episode does in fact prove that minimum or minimum seven, like maximum amount of time, 7 days apparently, because Daniel gets shot twice in this episode.
Yeah.
So,
But it
and
was a week apart. Like
it
yeah.
was. They do specifically talk about how many days it's been. It was 7 days from one shot to the next. So apparently, a week is sufficient time to not be killed. However, we still it is still very unclear what the time frame on that is.
I feel like we've seen people get shot in less time than that, like twice.
Probably.
Yeah. Like within the same day, I think that we've seen people get shot.
I mean, probably. Probably, yeah. Um, there's just some things that make so much sense on this show.
Maybe
Um,
like if you wake up, then you've cleared it. Like when you're knocked out. If they shoot you while you're still knocked out, you die.
it definitely can't be that because the one episode where they were in that on that one planet with Dr. Lee and like Jack was gonna take a second shot and the electricity was gonna like blow up the whole building because he still had a high
Mm,
enough electrical content in his body. It's definitely about the electricity in your body.
gotcha.
So some people wake up from the Zats quicker than others.
So what if you get zatted and then you like rub your socks on the ground and get an electrical current? Do
Then
you
that's
blow up?
probably I think that's probably like a second Zat shot. Easy.
Yeah. So then you die. So like don't pump gas right after you've got a shot in the
No,
second.
no, no, no. If you just woke up from getting shot with a Zatnicatel, do not pump gas. Do not light up a cigarette. Um,
Don't do the
do
balloon on your hair.
don't do a balloon on your hair. Don't slide your socks across the carpet. Um, don't like climb a tree in a thunderstorm.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. That's a good advice. Don't write
Welcome,
down a terror in a
welcome to DNA's
thunderstorm.
advice corner.
We have the best advice for any situation. Dear
Oh,
DNA.
yeah. So, do you have any more questions about this?
I don't have any questions, I just have feelings.
Please share those.
This is our last SG-1 episode before our hiatus. That you'll know.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm a little bummed. I'm a little bummed this is the episode. Like, it doesn't really have a lot of. I mean, I know you said that there are some things that are gonna like matter afterwards, but like, I would like to like see some of the regulars or like follow up on a different storyline. Like, this was the storyline I wanted for my last SG-1 before the bar. Um,
I'm so
it's fine.
sorry.
I didn't hate it. It just I would have liked something a little more. That's
Yeah,
all.
I I was like, I don't even know what episode of SG-1 comes next because I just know what the next episode we're watching is, which is not from SG-1. Um, oh, Yeah, the next episode that we are watching on the podcast is not SG-1. It is Stargate
Right.
Atlantis. And it is Stargate Atlantis season 1 episode 3 or 2 on IMDb. And it is called Hide and Seek.
Ooh, how fun.
Um my only thing I'm going to say to you is it's going to seem familiar. That's all I'm going to say.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my clue.
Am I gonna have a bummer of a time with Stargate before I don't watch it again for a month and a half?
I make no guarantees.
Oh,
But yeah, no, it's not one of the standout episodes.
cool. Cool. I can't wait.
But since this episode did happen and we did talk about it, who do you want to punch?
Um, hmm, like I should have a stronger feeling about this than I do.
Mm,
I mean, I guess Anubis, everyone else just kind of like was there. Nobody
fair,
like seemed
fair.
crazy.
I'm gonna punch the president.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, who is your MVP?
Lexi.
I know.
I'm so sad. I really liked him. And like, I met him and I was like, I don't want him to be our fourth SG-1. But I do like him and I do want him to be around. And then he died. And
Yeah,
I was like, cool, well, fine.
no. Never get attached. People will die.
Yeah.
Except for on Stargate, they won't.
But I don't really.
Um,
Unless I love them a lot, then they do really.
yeah. Alexi would have been my first choice, but because you picked him, I am going to go with Teal'c because he somehow was the only person to not be taken over by Anubis of everyone on the base.
I love it. I love it.
I'm sure that had absolutely nothing to do with him,
Sure.
but like he didn't make that happen. But
Right.
he does get kudos for surviving.
Staying strong.
Yeah. All right. So if you have thoughts or feelings about this episode or um, any of our advice about politics or what to do when you've been electrocuted by a Vat Nicotel, please email us at deafandaliens@gmail.com or follow us on any of the social media at deafandaliens. You can follow me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And you can find me at CE Cloud 13.
And we will see you on Thursday for our wrap up of Clarice.
That'll be a fun one.
Bye.
Bye.